In the heart of a sprawling national park, there lived a ranger named Alex. He had dedicated his life to protecting the wildlife that roamed freely in the vast expanse of trees and meadows. With tousled brown hair and sun-kissed skin, Alex was in his mid-30s and had spent almost a decade working in this beautiful sanctuary. His passion for animals was evident in every aspect of his life. Whether it was helping to rescue injured animals, educating visitors about conservation, or spending hours observing wildlife behavior, Alex's love for nature shone through. Each day began early for him. He would rise with the sun, stretching as golden rays spilled through the trees. If you enjoy this video, please like the video and subscribe for more, and tell me where you are watching from today. I always find it awesome to see where all my viewers are watching from. Let's get back to the video. His mornings were quiet, filled with the sounds of chirping birds and rustling leaves. He loved these moments because it reminded him of why he chose this path. Being a ranger meant more than just wearing a uniform. It was about connecting with the land and its creatures. He often said that his true home was among the animals he cherished so much. Alex's favorite part of his job was tracking animals throughout the park. Armed with binoculars and a notebook, he would take long walks on winding trails, documenting everything he encountered. There were times when he spent hours quietly watching herds of deer graze or listening to the distant calls of wolves at twilight. The connection he felt with each creature made every long day worthwhile. Over time, word spread about Alex's dedication to wildlife conservation. Local schools invited him to talk about the importance of preserving natural habitats, and tourists praised his deep knowledge during guided tours. He made it clear that protecting wildlife was not just a job. It was his mission. His colleagues respected him for his unwavering commitment and often sought his advice when faced with challenges involving animal care. Despite all this joy in his work, there were hard moments too, like when they lost an animal due to poaching or disease. It broke Alex's heart each time, reminding him that their fight for preservation was far from over. Yet, these difficulties only fueled his determination. He believed deeply that each life mattered and deserved love and protection. One sunny afternoon, while on one of his usual patrols, Alex stumbled upon a clearing where nature seemed still and quiet. Too quiet for comfort. As he stepped into the space surrounded by tall grass swaying gently in the breeze, he noticed something out of place. A lioness lying on the ground under the shade of a large acacia tree. At first glance, she seemed peaceful. But as Alex approached cautiously, concern washed over him like cold water. The lioness looked frail. Her fur was matted and dirtied from days without movement. Her once proud gaze now had an emptiness that tugged at Alex's heartstrings. He dropped to one knee beside her, feeling an overwhelming urge to help this magnificent creature who appeared so vulnerable, yet regal even in her suffering. He gently stroked her fur while whispering soft words of comfort, a practice he often used when encountering injured animals. Looking into her eyes felt like staring into deep pools of wisdom mixed with sorrow. This lioness had seen many seasons come and go throughout her life spent in this park. A stark reminder that nature could be harsh despite its beauty. As moments passed by like hours under that tree, Alex found himself reflecting on what it meant to be a guardian, not just for those thriving, but also for those facing their last days. He understood then that this lioness needed him more than ever, not just as her rescuer, but as someone who could help guide her toward peace. With every gentle caress through her fur, he began to form an unspoken bond built on trust between them. Trust that felt pure despite their differences in species, or perhaps because of them. Alex knew what lay ahead would not be easy. Yet he felt compelled to stay by her side until she took her last breath among familiar scents and sounds, the things she loved most during her time as Queen of the Savannah. This moment marked not only an emotional turning point for Alex, but also initiated an unforgettable journey for both him and the lioness. A journey filled with heartache, but also profound love that would leave an everlasting impact on everyone in the park once their story unfolded fully. Filled with hope, despite understanding their impending farewell, Alex leaned closer against her comforting warmth while feeling resolute. He would do everything possible to help this lioness experience dignity even at life's end. Because after all these years dedicated to wildlife protection, it wasn't simply about preserving nature. It was also about honoring its cycle gracefully when needed most. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting golden light across the park, Alex set out on his patrol. The morning air was crisp, and the sweet scent of wildflowers filled his lungs as he walked along the familiar trails. Today felt different. There was a sense of quiet that hung in the air, as if nature itself was holding its breath. After observing a family of deer grazing peacefully in a meadow, Alex ventured deeper into a secluded part of the park that he often reserved for quieter moments of reflection. He loved this area for its towering trees and lush underbrush, where sounds seemed muffled and time stood still. The serenity enveloped him like a warm blanket, making it a perfect spot to reconnect with nature. But as he continued on, something caught his attention. A faint sound that didn't belong to the usual rustling leaves or chirping birds. It was a weak whimper, almost like a cry for help. His heart raced as he followed the noise, moving cautiously through the dense foliage. Every step felt heavy with anticipation and concern. Pushing aside some branches, Alex entered a small clearing bathed in dappled sunlight. There, lying beneath the shade of an acacia tree, was the lioness. At first glance, she appeared to be resting peacefully, her golden fur blending harmoniously with the surrounding scenery. But as Alex stepped closer, a wave of unease washed over him. The lioness's body was thin and frail. Her once majestic stature now seemed diminished. He knelt down beside her, instinctively reaching out to touch her fur gently. It was matted and dirty, signs of neglect and hardship evident all over her body. The deep sorrow in her eyes struck Alex like an arrow. They held stories of battles fought and victories lost, moments that spoke of survival, but also hinted at despair. "Hey there," he whispered softly, trying to soothe her as he studied her condition more closely. "What happened to you?" His voice was gentle yet filled with worry. He scanned the surroundings for signs of what could have caused her injuries, a fight with another animal, a disease? The possibilities weighed heavily on his mind. The lioness lifted her head slightly at the sound of his voice, but quickly laid it back down again, exhausted from whatever ordeal she had faced. Her breathing was labored, each inhalation seeming more difficult than the last. Alex felt a tug at his heart. He knew that time was not on her side. He pulled out his notebook and began jotting down notes about her condition while keeping one eye on her movements. Her ribs were visible beneath her skin, which hinted at starvation or dehydration, issues that could stem from either injury or illness. As he observed, memories flooded back. Stories shared by other rangers about how some animals chose to isolate themselves when they sensed their time was near. This lioness might be facing such a moment, a poignant reality that shook Alex deeply. She had retreated from her pride or family for reasons beyond his understanding. Perhaps she had known she needed space in her final days. Determined not to let fear grip him, Alex made a quick decision. He would help this lioness however he could. He carefully stood up to assess his options. Should he call for backup or try to move her? He remembered the training sessions focused on animal care. First things first were to ensure she felt safe before taking any further steps. With newfound resolve, Alex returned to kneel beside her again. "I'm here," he reassured softly as he stroked her neck gently. "You're not alone." Despite knowing that she might be nearing the end of her life, he wanted her last moments filled with comfort rather than fear. For hours that day, Alex stayed close by as he monitored her condition and looked for signs that she needed immediate help, all while whispering words of encouragement into the soft breeze around them. Time slipped away unnoticed until shadows began to stretch across the clearing with dusk approaching. It was clear this beautiful creature needed more than just care. She required companionship during what could be one of her final experiences on this earth. A reminder that even in distressing times, connection can provide solace. As twilight fell softly over the park and stars began twinkling above them like diamonds scattered across velvet fabric, Alex made himself comfortable next to her under the calming canopy of trees. He would not leave until fate decided otherwise. In that quiet moment, amid gentle rustling leaves and distant calls from other animals beginning their nightly routines, an unbreakable bond formed between the ranger and the lioness. Two souls sharing an unexpected journey, bound together by compassion and understanding against nature's harsh realities. As Alex knelt beside the lioness, the reality of her condition became painfully clear. Her body, once a symbol of strength and grace, was now alarmingly thin. He could see her ribs protruding beneath her golden fur, which had lost its vibrant luster and was now matted and weathered. A sense of urgency filled him as he noticed the dullness in her eyes, which seemed to reflect both weariness and a flicker of hope. With each shallow breath she took, he could hear the labored struggle within her chest. It was as if every inhale was a battle, and Alex felt an overwhelming desire to ease her suffering. He gently touched her side, feeling the warmth radiate from her body, but recognizing that warmth belied a deeper issue. She was far too weak. Her breathing quickened whenever he moved closer, as if she sensed his presence offered both comfort and concern. Alex's heart ached for this majestic creature. The signs of dehydration were evident. Her tongue was dry and cracked, a stark reminder of how long she might have been without water. It didn't take long for him to realize that she might be suffering from more than just physical ailments. There could be an underlying illness or injury that had led to this dire state. As he observed her closely, he noticed faint scars along her flank, a reminder of past fights that had marked her journey through life. Each scar told a story of resilience in the face of danger, revealing a brave spirit that had fought fiercely throughout her years as a wild lioness. Yet now, it seemed those battles had taken their toll. Stepping back momentarily, Alex ran through his training in his mind, recalling everything he had learned about animal care. He remembered how important it was to approach injured wildlife with patience and empathy. If he wanted to help this lioness, he needed to remain calm and steady, projecting strength even when he felt fear creeping in. "Hang in there," he whispered softly, hoping somehow she could understand his words. "I won't leave you." His heart swelled with determination to provide whatever assistance he could offer. But the reality hung heavy. He wasn't equipped to handle severe cases alone out here in the wild. Looking around at their surroundings, his thoughts shifted to the possible causes of her condition. Was it a result of hunting injuries or an illness that had spread through her pride? Had she fallen out of favor among her group? Many factors could lead to such a dramatic decline in health for a lioness who should have been flourishing under the African sun. With every passing minute, Alex could feel the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders. He understood that in nature, survival often favored the strongest. But here lay a creature who had fought valiantly, yet found herself alone in this struggle. Despite appearing fragile and defeated, there was something undeniably noble about her presence. A spirit that still clung to life even as time slipped away. He resolved then to do what he could to ensure that this brave lioness would not suffer alone. He reached into his backpack and pulled out a bottle of water he always kept for emergencies during long patrols. Opening it carefully, he brought it close to her mouth, tilting it slightly so she could taste the cool liquid. At first, she hesitated, but then instinctively licked at the water with desperate movements. A small glimmer of hope sparked within Alex as he encouraged her gently. "That's it. Just a little more." He held the bottle steady as she took small sips, revitalizing energy slowly flowing back into her weary body. With every drop she drank, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. He knew this was only a temporary solution for an ongoing battle against nature's harsh realities. But in this moment, he realized how crucial it was for him to be present by her side, offering care when no one else would. After several moments of sharing water between them, the lioness appeared slightly more alert. There was a flicker of awareness in her eyes, as if she recognized Alex's efforts and responded to his gentle touch. This gave him hope that perhaps there was still some fight left within her yet. He decided right then that taking action would be essential if they were both to confront what lay ahead together. He needed help from fellow rangers who could assist with medical attention if necessary. As dusk began to settle over the park and shadows danced in the fading light, Alex prepared himself for the next steps on their journey. In that shared tranquility, under the vast canopy of stars emerging one by one into view above them, Alex felt honored to witness such bravery from this lioness, even amid suffering. Here lay an unexpected bond between them, forged from compassion amid adversity, a testament to survival's unyielding spirit echoing deep within both their hearts. As Alex continued to kneel beside the lioness, a profound bond began to form between them, woven together by shared moments of vulnerability and quiet understanding. Each hour spent in her presence deepened his resolve to care for her. And he quickly learned to read the subtle shifts in her posture and breathing. In the early twilight, as shadows grew long, Alex noticed she would relax slightly every time he spoke. It was as if his voice provided a soothing balm to her weary spirit. "You're a fighter," he whispered one evening, stroking her neck gently. Although her response was merely a flicker in her eyes, he saw an echo of acknowledgement, a glimpse that suggested she found comfort in his presence amid her struggle. During the days that followed, Alex committed himself fully to her care. He returned with more water, patiently offering it to her until she could drink without hesitation. Each drop instilled a sense of life back into those once dull eyes. He found himself concocting ideas to help alleviate her suffering further. He scoured his gear for anything that could assist, even if it was just some shade or a soft bed under the trees. Sitting beside her while the sun dipped below the horizon became a cherished routine. He would share stories about his day and what they might have done together if she were healthy again. A wistful imagining filled with happy moments that would encompass the beauty of life outside her current reality. He spoke about the vast savannas and endless skies, painting pictures with words that she might never experience again. In those moments, their connection grew stronger. They became intertwined souls navigating through sorrow and tenderness. As nature hummed softly around them, crickets chirping in unison and a gentle breeze whispering through the grass, Alex noticed the subtle changes in the lioness's demeanor. She began to lift her head more often, as though engaging with him rather than succumbing completely to despair. Moments where she could muster enough energy to acknowledge his presence reflected a stubborn will beneath her fatigued shell. One afternoon, while sharing quiet companionship under the dappled sunlight filtering through trees, Alex reached out and lightly scratched behind her ears, a gesture reminiscent of how one might comfort a pet at home. To his surprise, a low rumble emanated from within her throat. It was a sound he recognized as a purr. That deep sound reverberated through him like sunlight breaking through clouds after a rainstorm. In that instant, joy blossomed in Alex's heart. Their bond had transcended mere compassion. It was evolving into something deeper. His determination intensified with each small sign of connection. A flicker of interest in her eyes, or an appreciative nudge when he stroked her fur. The lioness may have been weak in body, yet in those moments of softness exchanged between them lay incredible strength. A reminder that love knows no bounds, even amid struggle. As dusk approached each day, Alex would sit silent next to her, buzzing insects serenading them while stars pricked the sky black above. Here lay two unlikely companions. A ranger devoted to protecting nature and a lioness who had fought tirelessly against time's relentless march. They existed together against the oppressive backdrop of reality, offering each other solace in an environment shaped by adversity. Yet it wasn't just comfort they shared. There were also lessons surfacing amidst their journey. For Alex, watching the lioness endure pain transformed his understanding of resilience within nature itself. Despite knowing their paths may inevitably diverge soon toward tragedy, he recognized elements of bravery present even amidst vulnerability, elements he aspired to carry into every aspect of life beyond this moment. On days when sunlight broke strongly across open fields outside their secluded space, or other animals grazed peacefully beyond sight, Alex taught himself gratitude for every shared breath with this remarkable creature. Each moment etched indelibly within him like nature's fingerprints tattooed upon his soul forever. The connection bloomed further whenever they encountered challenges together. The weight of uncertainty looming overhead reminded both ranger and lioness alike that their presence mattered immensely despite outcomes beyond control. It solidified all that they had forged. Companionship grounded not just on physical caretaking, but also emotional support intertwined so deeply it sometimes transcended spoken words altogether. As weeks slipped by unhurriedly under rolling clouds above them, accompanied by rumbles of wind kissing grasses onward toward faraway hillsides painted pink with indicating sunsets waiting above its horizon line. Those ambiguous times blended gracefully into strong ties formed out of love between man and lioness, witnessing one another's journey amid what lay ahead. Ultimately, within that sanctuary surrounded by towering trees and boundless wildflowers surrendered deep within nature's arms became not merely an obligation fulfilled. Pure testament surrounding emotion shared alongside one another stood tremendously significant. Binding hearts through memory, unfurling lovingly woven threads, enveloping their paths, unexpectedly intertwined, before fate outlined otherwise ahead. One morning, as the soft light of dawn began to filter through the treetops, Alex knew that it was time for the lioness to take her final walk. The air was cool, and a gentle breeze rustled the leaves, creating a serene atmosphere that felt almost sacred. He could sense that she had been holding on for this moment, a chance to revisit her favorite spots in the park one last time. Alex gently approached her, kneeling beside her frail body, and whispered, "It's time for a little adventure, my friend." As if she understood his words, the lioness lifted her head slightly and gazed at him with those deep, wise eyes that spoke of a lifetime spent in the wild. With great care, he helped her rise to her feet. She wobbled initially, but steadied herself as she leaned against him for support. The two set off slowly, and though each step was a challenge for the lioness, Alex walked beside her, encouraging her with gentle words. They moved through the familiar paths of the park, where vibrant flowers bloomed and grasses swayed in rhythm with a soft morning breeze. It was a landscape that had once been filled with life and strength for her, where she had roamed freely as the queen of her realm. As they walked, Alex took note of the small details around them. The playful dance of butterflies flitting from flower to flower, the rustle of small animals darting through the underbrush, and the sweet scent of wild blossoms filling the air. He wanted to immerse her in all these memories one last time. They made their way to a small stream that trickled gently through the woods, a place where she had often come to drink and cool off during hot days. The sound of water bubbling over rocks greeted them like an old friend. Alex paused there, allowing her to rest near its edge. He knelt down beside her and dipped his fingers into the cool water before bringing them closer to her mouth. "Here you go," he encouraged softly. She tentatively licked at the water he offered, relishing its refreshing taste. It was a simple act, but filled with significance, reminding both of them of times when she had thrived in this very spot. The memories seemed to wash over them like waves. Both Ranger and Lioness shared a momentary bond that transcended words as they stood together by that stream. After quenching her thirst, they continued on their journey. Next, they ventured toward a vast open field dotted with tall grasses and vibrant wildflowers swaying in unison under the sun's warm rays. This meadow had been one of her favorite hunting grounds, a place full of life, where she had roamed extensively with grace and confidence. As they entered the meadow, Alex stopped and looked at his companion with admiration. "Look at all this beauty," he said gently, gesturing at the expanse of colors surrounding them. "This was your kingdom." The lioness stood still for a moment, as if drinking in every sight, every scent, reliving fragments of an extraordinary life lived fiercely in these very fields. Yet now, she looked fragile amid such splendor. Immediately picking up on her fatigue, Alex adjusted his position beside her so he could offer more support as they continued onward. Each stride became increasingly labored for her. Alex could feel his heart ache with every strained breath she took. He guided her back toward some shaded trees nearby, where a gentle canopy provided respite from the sun's glare. Another sanctuary, where she might have found solace during hotter days or after exhilarating hunts. As they settled under the trees together once more, Alex brushed away strands of grass caught in her fur while whispering sweet reassurances. Sitting close beside her under that shelter felt significant. It was here among those towering trunks that nature seemed to cradle their journey. The fragile yet resilient spirit between Ranger and Lioness intimately woven together through shared experiences. As twilight began casting golden hues across the sky, signaling evening's approach, Alex felt time slipping away from them like grains of sand through fingers. But he also felt grateful for this chance to honor her legacy before fate dictated otherwise. In those final moments beneath sprawling branches, kissed by fading daylight shadows, danced upon their shared space. An enduring testament to love, forged amid sorrow, enveloped in nature's magnificent embrace. with each passing hour left together, intertwined by hope, amid struggle echoed through their silent exchanges, until eventually came a time neither would forget, where love stood unbeaten even against nature's harsh realities. A journey culminating beautifully carved between two souls set apart by fate, yet bound together forevermore, within cherished memory, forever lingering across endless savannas, filled with whispers dancing lightly on winds carried forward into tomorrow. As twilight descended on the park, the world around Alex and the lioness turned into a symphony of soft colors. The sky was painted with shades of pink and orange, while the air felt thick with a sense of calm and solemnity. Alex could sense that time was running short for his companion. He settled beside her under the protective canopy of towering trees, feeling the warmth of her body next to him. It was a moment filled with both sadness and gratitude. They had shared something incredibly special. The gentle rustling of leaves and the distant calls of birds provided a comforting backdrop as they sat together in silence. Alex stroked the lioness's fur, now more fragile than ever, and whispered soft words, trying to reassure her as best he could. "You've been so brave," he murmured, his voice barely above a whisper. "You've fought hard, and I'm so proud of you." The lioness lifted her head slightly, her eyes reflecting a mix of weariness and an enduring spirit. In that moment, Alex felt as if she was trying to communicate with him, conveying her appreciation for his presence. Despite the labored breaths that punctuated their shared silence, there was a profound peace between them, a mutual understanding that transcended words. As time passed, the sounds of nature softened, almost as if the world itself was holding its breath in reverence for what was to come. Alex found himself lost in thought, reminiscing about their journey together. From their first encounter beneath the acacia tree to this final moment filled with love and compassion, every experience brought them closer to one another. The bond they had formed was a testament to the resilience of life and the beauty of connection. A gentle breeze swept through the clearing, carrying with it the sweet scent of blooming flowers nearby. It felt like a farewell from nature itself, a reminder that life continues in cycles, no matter how difficult or beautiful those cycles may be. As the lioness lay beside him, Alex noticed her breathing becoming even more shallow. It was clear that she was nearing her final moments. He moved closer to her side, wrapping an arm around her as if to let her know she was not alone. "I am here with you," he promised softly. "You can rest now." The lioness let out a soft sigh, almost as if acknowledging his words, and closed her eyes for a brief moment. In those last precious moments, Alex felt an overwhelming sense of love wash over him, a love that transcended species and spoke to something deeper within both their souls. He leaned in closer, resting his forehead against hers. "Thank you for everything," he said with tears brimming in his eyes. "You've taught me so much about strength and grace." The shadows around them deepened as daylight faded into night. Stars began to twinkle above them, like tiny diamonds scattered across velvet fabric. It felt surreal. Here they were under this vast sky, two souls connected by love amid life's harsh realities. With one final breath, the lioness let out a soft exhale that seemed to blend seamlessly into the whispers of the wind rustling through the trees. Her body relaxed beneath Alex's touch, and he could sense that she had finally found peace. In that moment, time stood still as he held her close, enveloped in an embrace filled with both sorrow and gratitude. As darkness enveloped the park completely, Alex remained by her side, wishing he could hold on to this moment forever. a bittersweet farewell that would linger in his heart indefinitely. He felt honored to have been part of her journey and knew he would carry her spirit with him always. Eventually, as stars twinkled overhead and crickets began their nightly serenade, Alex gently laid his head beside hers, falling into a peaceful slumber under the protective canopy of trees that had witnessed their bond grow over time. He dreamed of open savannas filled with life, a place where the lioness roamed free once again, casting aside all limitations. When dawn broke on the horizon once more, soft light spilling across the landscape, the world would continue spinning forward. But for Alex, this would be a day filled with reflection, a tribute not just to a lioness who had passed, but also to every lesson learned about love and loss along their shared journey. And though she had left this earth, her spirit would remain alive in his heart, echoing through every whisper of wind that danced through the park they both loved so dearly. It was a connection forged through compassion amid adversity, an unbreakable bond that would transcend time and space as he moved forward, carrying her memory into every new day ahead. In the days following the lioness's passing, a sense of sadness hung over the park. Alex found himself reflecting on their time together, cherishing each moment they had shared. He often returned to the spot where he had last held her, hoping to feel her presence in the gentle rustle of leaves or the soft calls of birds. It was his way of keeping her memory alive. One afternoon, while wandering through the familiar trails, Alex felt a tug of urgency to revisit their favorite places. As he walked past the small stream where they had shared water and stories, he noticed something unusual in the grass nearby. Curiosity piqued, he approached cautiously, heart racing with anticipation. To his surprise, nestled among the vibrant green blades of grass was a tiny cub, barely a few weeks old. Its fur was soft and golden, perfectly resembling its mother's. Alex's breath caught in his throat as disbelief washed over him. Could this little one really be hers? He knelt down slowly, careful not to startle the cub as it blinked up at him with wide eyes filled with innocence. Realizing that this cub was an unexpected gift left behind by the lioness brought forth a wave of emotion within him. The warmth of joy mixed with sorrow surged through his heart. Here was a piece of her spirit, a legacy that would continue in this little creature. With trembling hands, Alex reached out gently, allowing the cub to sniff his fingers before pulling back slightly. He took a moment to observe its surroundings and quickly assessed that it was alone and vulnerable, a situation that could spell danger for such a young animal in the wild. Instinctively protective, he knew he had to act fast to ensure its safety. "Come here, little one," he whispered softly. The cub looked around, as if sensing its own need for connection and security, before crawling toward him hesitantly. Alex scooped it up gently and cradled it against his chest. He could feel its tiny heartbeat fluttering against him, life emerging from loss. As he made his way back through the park with the cub nestled comfortably in his arms, thoughts raced through his mind about what steps needed to be taken next. He recalled how important it would be for this cub to find its rightful place within nature, and perhaps even a new pride, if there were any nearby that might accept it. Returning to camp, Alex gathered fellow rangers who shared his astonishment upon seeing the tiny creature that had been discovered. "This is incredible," one ranger exclaimed as they all gathered around curiously. "It's like she left behind a part of herself." With tender care, they prepared an area for the cub while discussing options for its future, whether to rehabilitate and eventually introduce it into another pride or perhaps keep it under observation until it became strong enough to survive on its own. Days turned into weeks as everyone worked together to nurture this precious life that had come unexpectedly into their midst. They named her Lila, a name signifying beauty and grace, which perfectly captured her essence as she began to thrive in their care. Under Alex's watchful eye, Lila grew stronger each day. She started exploring her surroundings with curiosity while still finding comfort in human companionship when needed most. Watching her playful antics brought back joyous memories of her mother, the lioness who had shown such spirit and resilience throughout her life. As Lila flourished amid nature's embrace within their sanctuary at the park, word spread quickly among locals and visitors alike about this remarkable story. The unexpected gift left behind by a beloved lioness who once roamed freely across these lands. People came from far and wide just to catch glimpses of Lila as she bounded joyfully across meadows or napped under sun-dappled trees surrounded by laughter echoing around them. A stark reminder that life persists despite loss. On special occasions when visitors gathered for educational talks about wildlife conservation efforts led by Alex and other rangers, stories emerged regarding Lila's mother, sharing how love transcends even beyond farewell moments filled with sorrow amidst nature's complexity, woven intricately alongside life itself. The bond between Alex and Lila deepened over time. She may have been just a cub, but represented so much more. A living testament that even within grief can flourish new beginnings filled with hope. Every day spent caring for her became another opportunity not only to honor her mother's spirit, but also inspire others about wildlife preservation, encouraging all who encountered them along their journey together toward brighter horizons ahead. In reflecting on what lay ahead amidst gentle sunsets, painting skies above golden grasses waving gracefully below, the unbreakable thread connecting them all remained strong, intertwined forevermore. Love interwoven through nature itself, blossoming anew, continually reminding those left behind how precious every moment truly is when embraced fully amid shared experiences etched eternally into hearts, forever guiding paths onward. As news of the lioness's passing and the discovery of her cub, Lila, spread throughout the park, reactions poured in from rangers, visitors, and wildlife enthusiasts alike. The announcement traveled quickly through the ranger community, igniting a wave of emotions among those who had known the lioness and witnessed her strength. Many rangers who had patrolled the area where she had roamed for years felt a profound sense of loss coupled with admiration for her bravery. Alex's fellow rangers gathered at the campfire one evening to discuss their beloved lioness and the unexpected gift she had left behind. "It's incredible," one ranger remarked, shaking his head in disbelief. "She gave us hope right when we thought we'd lost everything." Others nodded solemnly, sharing stories of encounters with her over the years, how she had defended her territory fiercely or cared for her previous cubs with unwavering devotion. Meanwhile, visitors to the park began flocking to see Lila in person. Families and wildlife enthusiasts arrived with a sense of awe and curiosity. Many of them had heard Alex's story through local news or social media posts, and they were eager to witness this remarkable continuation of life that emerged from such sorrow. Children giggled excitedly as they watched Lila playfully explore her surroundings while adults stood nearby, their faces illuminated with smiles mingled with tears. One day, a group of school children visited the park on a field trip. Guided by Alex and other rangers, they gathered around Lila's enclosure, wide-eyed and enchanted by this tiny creature that seemed to embody both beauty and resilience. "She's just like a little ball of sunshine," one girl exclaimed as she pointed at Lila frolicking in the grass. Alex knelt down beside the children to explain how important it was to care for wildlife and preserve their habitats. Lila is a reminder that life can continue even after loss, he said earnestly, looking into their curious eyes. This little cub represents hope for future generations of lions in our park. The children listened intently, captivated not only by Lila's playful antics, but also by Alex's passion for wildlife conservation. As Lila continued to grow stronger under Alex's care, more visitors arrived at the park, many bringing gifts like toys or treats specially made for cubs as gestures of love and encouragement. Local artists even began creating paintings inspired by her story. Some captured moments from her life with her mother, while others depicted Lila's joyful spirit amid nature. The lioness's legacy became an unexpected source of inspiration that extended beyond just those who worked or visited the park. It sparked conversations about conservation efforts throughout the community. Local schools organized fundraisers to support wildlife protection initiatives, while families committed themselves to educating others about preserving natural habitats. During these gatherings around campfires and picnic tables filled with laughter echoing above gentle sounds from nature surrounding them, the shared experiences helped forge bonds between rangers and community members alike as they united under one common goal: fostering awareness about wildlife preservation. As more people learned about this remarkable story surrounding Lila's birth, a creature born from love amidst grief, Alex felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude wash over him each time someone approached him to share how inspired they were by what unfolded within their beloved park. His heart swelled, knowing that not only had he honored the lioness who had touched his life so profoundly, but also helped foster connections among others passionate about protecting wildlife too. In time, it became clear that Lila was more than just a cub. She transformed into a beacon symbolizing resilience against adversity, a living testament reminding everyone about nature's intricate cycles intertwined beautifully through life itself. With each passing day spent nurturing Lila alongside fellow rangers while sharing stories about her mother, the bond grew stronger among all involved, each moment becoming etched into hearts, forever guiding paths toward brighter futures ahead, filled with hope against all odds, facing them together in harmony beneath sunlit skies, stretched wide across endless horizons, waiting beyond. The passing of the lioness and the arrival of her cub, Lila, had a profound impact on wildlife conservation efforts in the park. News of Lila's story spread rapidly, igniting a wave of interest and concern for wildlife among the local community and beyond. Alex, who had nurtured such a close bond with both the lioness and her cub, quickly found himself at the center of a movement focused on raising awareness about wildlife preservation. As people flocked to the park to catch a glimpse of Lila, they were not only captivated by her playful nature, but also moved by her backstory. The community began organizing events aimed at educating visitors about the importance of protecting wildlife habitats and ensuring sustainable practices within the park. Rangers, including Alex, led workshops on wildlife conservation, sharing touching stories about the lioness and how her life and death could inspire efforts to safeguard future generations of animals. Local schools became involved as well, integrating wildlife conservation into their curricula. Educators organized field trips to the park where students could learn directly from rangers about the ecosystem and its delicate balance. Children were particularly enchanted by Lila. They saw her as a symbol of hope that resonated with their own experiences of loss and renewal. Through interactive sessions, they learned about respecting nature and the importance of biodiversity while fostering a sense of responsibility toward wildlife. In addition to educational programs, fundraising efforts took off. Community members hosted bake sales, art shows, and auctions dedicating proceeds to support wildlife rehabilitation and habitat preservation projects within the park. Local businesses contributed generously as they recognized that supporting conservation efforts would not only benefit wildlife, but also enhanced tourism and community pride. Alex was often invited to speak at these events, where he passionately recounted his journey with the Lioness and Lila. He emphasized how critical it was to protect natural habitats that allow animals to thrive. Every creature plays a role in our ecosystem, he explained during one gathering. And when we lose even one species, we lose a part of ourselves. His heartfelt messages resonated deeply with audiences. They left inspired to take action in their own communities. The media picked up on Lila's story as well, leading to coverage in local newspapers and even features on television. People from distant towns began visiting the park specifically to learn more about wildlife conservation efforts. And Lila became an ambassador for a message much larger than herself. Documentaries were produced highlighting not just her journey, but also broader issues facing wildlife today. This surge in attention led to collaborations among various conservation organizations aiming to implement sustainable practices within the park. Discussions regarding expanding protected areas blossomed as new partnerships formed between rangers and environmental groups. With each passing day, it became increasingly clear that Lila provided a unique opportunity for change. Her story captured hearts and motivated changemakers across the region. Moreover, Alex and his fellow rangers noticed an uptick in volunteers eager to assist with daily operations in the park, as well as rehabilitation efforts for injured animals. The community rallied around these initiatives, recognizing that preserving wildlife was not solely the responsibility of rangers. It was a collective effort requiring participation from everyone. As Lila grew stronger and more playful each day under Alex's nurturing care, she became a powerful symbol of resilience that inspired a movement beyond anyone's expectations. Visitors from all walks of life shared their experiences and stories surrounding their connection with nature, each person adding another layer to the rich narrative unfolding within the park. Through all these initiatives, the legacy of the Lioness lived on, not just through Lila, but through heightened awareness and commitment surrounding conservation efforts. The impact extended far beyond what Alex had envisioned. It transformed into a collaborative movement aimed at creating lasting, positive change for wildlife. With every visit from tourists or community members seeking knowledge about preservation efforts, intertwined with heartfelt connections forged through shared stories, the park blossomed into something remarkable, a haven for both nature lovers and wildlife alike. A testament reminding everyone about nature's intricate cycles woven beautifully amid life itself. In this way, Lila emerged not just as an unexpected gift from her mother, but as a symbol of hope fueling passions around protecting our planet's treasures while inspiring generations toward meaningful engagement in caring for wildlife. Ensuring legacies endured far into the future beneath sunlit skies, shining brightly above untamed landscapes stretched endlessly before them. As the seasons changed and the park transitioned from vibrant summer greens to the warm hues of fall, Alex found himself reflecting on the journey he had taken with both the Lioness and her cub, Lila. Their story had woven itself into the fabric of his life, leaving him with a profound sense of purpose and gratitude. The loss of the Lioness was deeply felt, yet her legacy lived on through every interaction that unfolded around Lila. Sitting quietly on a log overlooking the meadows where he had once walked with the Lioness, Alex felt a wave of emotions wash over him. He thought about the bond they had formed in those final moments, the gentle strength he drew from her as she fought against time and pain. It reminded him of the beauty and fragility of life, illuminating a truth that often gets overlooked in the hustle of daily existence, that every moment counts. Alex's love for nature had deepened significantly through this experience. He recognized that being a ranger wasn't just about protecting animals. It was about understanding their stories and recognizing how each creature plays a vital role in maintaining balance within their ecosystems. The lioness, with her strength and grace, had taught him lessons that words could never fully express. Lessons about resilience, courage, and love. With Lila growing stronger by the day, Alex saw in her not just a continuation of her mother's spirit, but also an opportunity to inspire others. Every child who visited the park, eyes wide with wonder at Lila's playful antics, carried forward a message of hope. Alex often spoke to groups about how life goes on even after loss, and how everyone has a part to play in protecting the natural world around them. As winter approached and snow dusted the park in glistening white tranquility, Alex found joy in watching Lila thrive amid changing seasons. She became an ambassador for wildlife conservation, her lively presence drawing more visitors than ever before. With each person who came to witness her playfulness or hear stories about her mother, Alex felt an unbreakable thread connecting them all. A shared commitment to nurturing nature for future generations. The community's response to Lila's story also brought lasting change beyond just raising awareness. It fostered new initiatives focused on habitat restoration projects that would benefit not only lions, but countless other species residing within their shared environment. Local businesses contributed resources, while schools organized eco-friendly activities to involve students directly in conservation work. Alex often reflected on how this journey transformed him personally as well. There were days when he felt overwhelmed by sadness at losing such a majestic creature. But those feelings were balanced by immense pride in what unfolded afterward. A newfound dedication among people toward wildlife preservation sparked by one lioness's legacy. In quiet moments spent alone near that same acacia tree, where he first discovered her lying helplessly beneath its shade, Alex expressed his gratitude for everything he had learned along this path. "You've shown us all," he murmured into the cool breeze brushing past him, "that love transcends even death." Lila's vibrant personality reminded everyone who encountered her of life's beauty amid sorrowful farewells, of how bonds forged through struggle can illuminate paths forward filled with hope and promise, despite obstacles faced along life's journey. As spring returned once more, a season symbolizing renewal, Alex watched as flowers burst forth from beneath blankets of snow. It mirrored perfectly what had unfolded since that fateful day months prior, when he lost one friend but gained another in Lila. Every bloom seemed infused with magic, the essence of nature's cycles repeating endlessly, while reminding him there was always beauty waiting just beyond grief. In time, Lila would forge her own path among those vast savannas stretched beneath endless skies. A living testament carrying forth not just echoes from her lineage, but infinite stories woven together through experiences shared across generations, bound forevermore by mutual respect for all creatures inhabiting this wondrous planet we call home. And so, standing amidst blooming wildflowers under azure skies painted bright overhead, Alex felt empowered, knowing that this journey wasn't merely defined by loss. It indicated something far greater. The enduring legacy left behind through love, binding hearts together forever within nature's embrace as they move onward toward brighter tomorrows waiting ahead.